South Korea investigating whether its workers had human rights violations during an immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia not too long ago here in the U.S. Remember, that's when more than about 300 South Koreans were detained. Hundreds sent back to South Korea last week. NBC News has reached out to ICE, which referred us to the White House. No comment from them yet.
According to BBC, South Korea is now opening an investigation into the United States and possible human rights violations after more than 300 workers detained at the Hyundai LG battery factory raid last week were held in squalid conditions, shackled for hours, denied representation, and had their due process infringed upon. This comes on the back of Hyundai now saying that factory is delayed at least 2 months, if not indefinitely, while they work to try to find new workers that are willing to come to the United States and have the required skills to train the workforce here. An additional 22 proposed work sites by South Korean companies across the United States have been postponed. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is on Truth Social yesterday, Sunday, begging additional companies and countries to come to the United States and teach U.S. workers skills such as shipbuilding, chip manufacturing, and a variety of other highly technical jobs. Why? So that the U.S. can beat them at their own game, according to him.
Seoul, the images of armored vehicles and South Korean workers in shackles have really struck a nerve for many. Officials say they're deeply unhappy with both the scale of the U.S. immigration arrests and the decision to release footage of the operation.
If they were staying illegally without the proper paperwork, then the normal procedure should have been to inform them first and help them return home in the right way. But this time, our citizens were detained in such a shocking and irregular way. I think it really needs to be resolved through diplomacy.
I can't help but feel there's a tendency to look down on our country. The media keeps saying relations are going well diplomatically, but if you just look at something like this, the reality feels quite different.
Detained workers prepared to board that government-chartered flight back home, but the images of shackled workers could linger, casting a shadow over South Korea's multi-billion-dollar investment push into the United States.
South Korea has been quiet since their Hyundai plant was raided in Georgia. But that doesn't mean they're not going to act. They're getting ready to sue the United States government for human rights violations. There's a creator on here. His TikTok name is Brett. He lives in South Korea. He's hearing directly from the South Korean government and the South Korean people. So you can go watch his videos and get a lot more information. I watched a very long one the other day, and I'm going to give you the highlights. We all saw them get chained and handcuffed, right? But what we didn't see is what happened to them after that. ICE took their belongings and their clothes, made them have their mug shots taken. 70 people to a cell, only a few toilets and showers. They ate in the cells in front of the toilets with no knives or forks because they're violent criminals, right? They were treating them like rapists and murderers. They felt that the food was expired. The lights were on at all times. They didn't sleep and they were not given their medications. That could have been deadly. Foreign citizens who were invited here by the U.S. government, who die in the custody of the U.S. government, a very bad thing. This creator was so diplomatic about this. He has every reason to be angry. The detainees reported that the staff was very poorly trained. People that are working there are not good people. They made fun of their eyes. They made fun of their language. They called the detainees Kim Jong-un. That's North Korea. This is so embarrassing. These people are the dumbest pieces of trash that America has to offer. And they're representing all of us. Here's some good news. They drew a map of the detention center. And on one side of the map that the South Koreans have, it's heavily redacted. There's a list that is heavily redacted. And I truly hope that that is a list of the names of the ICE agents who treated these people this way. Here's some quotes, direct quotes from either the detainees or their family members. One of their moms said, "My son has been to 10 different countries with Hyundai and has never been treated this way. The South Korean government feels incredibly disrespected and has told LG and Hyundai employees to come back to Korea. They've said if you want to learn from us, come to Korea and learn Korean. The U.S. is on the verge of a civil war. Thanks, MAGA. It's not worth the investment anymore. They're going to wait and come back when he's gone. Worst case scenario, they move everything to Canada and Mexico." The local news in Georgia and the governor of Georgia aren't talking about it. We don't know if they're afraid of Trump or what, but it's very bizarre. There's no logic They want jobs, but they arrested the people who were creating jobs for them. Lutnick keeps asking for more cash. Who does that? Asks for straight cash. That's so weird. Something is wrong with America. They've asked for 20% of South Korea's GDP. This is where it gets a little scary. Koreans make their own weapons now. And people in Korea want to build their own nuclear weapons so that they don't have to depend on America anymore. Donald Trump is trying to walk this back. He's saying things like, I want them to bring their expertise and teach our people. That's what they were doing. How did you not know that? You are the president of the United States. How did you not know? South Koreans have read his post, and they compared him to an abusive husband who says, I didn't mean it, baby. Please come back. If this had happened under any other administration, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, the people who filled those positions would have already been fired. This was a massive screw up. This is huge and it's being overshadowed. So we need to be
So by now, I'm sure you know what happened between the United States and South Korea. But if you did not know, sit back and I'll tell you. Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So credit goes to the creators in these videos. Guys, in today's video, a few weeks ago, right, the US immigration officers carried out the raid at Hyundai and LG battery factory in Georgia, and almost 475 workers were arrested, and more than 300 of them were South Korean citizens. Now, the US government said that many of these workers, came with the wrong kind of visa. Instead of using real work visas, some of them had short business visas or travel visas, and the US says that this cannot be used for long-term jobs, right? And what has caused anger in South Korea is the way the workers were being treated. I mean, we all saw the videos. They were tied up, they were in chains, and reports said that they were crowded. They were not given enough information about their rights. So some people said that these conditions were poor and humiliating. And you know how stories and news spread like wildfire, right? Images, stories quickly spread across Korea, South Korea, and made people feel that their citizens have been disrespected. And now the South Korean government has stepped in fast. They sent diplomats, they're investigating the situation, and they even arranged the flights to carry their citizens back home. Now the South Korean government is checking to see if any human rights were violated during the raid. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep watching this.
According to BBC, South Korea is now opening an investigation into the United States and possible human rights violations after more than 300 workers detained at the Hyundai LG battery factory raid last week were held in squalid conditions, shackled for hours, denied representation, and had their due process infringed upon. This comes on the back of Hyundai now saying that factory is delayed at least 2 months, if not indefinitely, while they work to try to find new workers that are willing to come to the United States and have the required skills to train the workforce here. An additional 22 proposed work sites by South Korean companies across the United States have been postponed. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is on Truth Social yesterday, Sunday, begging additional companies and countries to come to the United States and teach U.S. workers skills such as shipbuilding, chip manufacturing, and a variety of other highly technical jobs. Why? So that the U.S. can beat them at their own game.
그렇게 남아서 일하고 싶은 사람은 없었을 것 같아요. 지금 이렇게 상황 겪고 나서는 다음에도 다 같이 나갈까라는 생각도 좀 들기도 하고, 일단 비자는 어떻게 될지 모르겠지만은 굳이 좀 뭐 다시 나가야 될 사람은 또 나가야 되겠지만은, 근데 지금 아직은 뭐 생각을 좀 해봐야 되겠습니다.
뉴스 통해서 그 군대는 뭐 결박해갖고 잡혀 들어가는 거 봤잖아요. 그걸 보고 그냥 그때부터는 이제 뭐 잠도 못 자고 뭐 그랬죠.
힘냅시다.
Now, we know Donald Trump is regretting his poor choices of having ICE responsible for the Hyundai raid, right? We know this. Meanwhile, MAGA people are like, yeah, they don't belong here. They're taking jobs from us. No, they were training you, a-holes. They were training you. And now Donald Trump is now groveling. This is pretty much what he's doing. He's groveling to South Korea. Please bring your people back, and only one return. You know what? They don't need to return. I told you the importance of Hyundai or Honda, whatever I want to say. I told you the importance of the Hyundai plan. I told you they are responsible for our energy, hydrogen, nuclear power. They also for trains and shipping. And now Donald Trump realizes, oh shit, we done effed up. We effed up here. And that lady who is taking responsibility, I'm quite sure she wishes she never did that video. She's not going to win her election. The people of Savannah are big mad at her. This was actually bringing jobs to the people in Savannah. So let me tell you what he wrote so you can share with your other buddies, okay? And if you don't believe me, go to his Truth Social, but I don't have time for you. It says when foreign companies who are building extremely large, complex products, machines, and various other things come into the United States with massive investment, I want them to bring their people of expertise for a period of time to teach and train our people how to make very unique and complex products as they phase out of our country and back into their lands. If we didn't do this, all of that massive investment will never come in the first place. Chips, semiconductors, computers, ships, trains, and so many other products that we have learned from others how to make, or in many cases, relearn because we used to be great at it, but not anymore. For example, shipbuilding, where we used to build a ship in a day, I guess. No, that never happened. But now we barely build a ship a year. I don't want to frighten off and desensitize investment to America by outside countries or companies. We welcome them. We welcome their employees. And we are proudly say that we will learn from them and do even better than them at their own game, sometimes into the not too distant future. Yeah. This is a big loss. And not only is Georgia possibly losing Hyundai, they have lost Marvel. They lost Marvel to the UK. Great job, America. Are we still winning yet? Are we still winning? He's absolutely the worst president ever.
Oh, guys, this is not just about visas and immigration papers because it seems to have turned into a bigger problem. Because South Korea, right, invested billions of dollars in the United States factories, especially in batteries and technology. And now the question I believe they are asking themselves is that, can we really trust the United States if our workers are treated this way? Because now, although the South Korean government is not, they are not filing a lawsuit yet, but they are investigating, they are demanding answers. They seem to want clearer rules about visas, about fair treatment for their people, and it seems that they want a promise that this will not happen again. And the truth is that if the US does not handle this well, it can affect future businesses and even the relationship between these two allies. Because, this factory was going to provide jobs for the American people. Now, this story leaves us with questions. Should the US change how it handles foreign workers during raids? And do you think South Korea will take legal actions if they can prove that human rights were broken in this raid? And most importantly, guys, will this situation hurt the trust between these two countries that were supposed to be partners? Because it just shows how immigration, business, human rights, and all those things, it just shows how they can all be intertwined and how they can all collide. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because this looks like a turning point to the relationship between the United States and South Korea. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.